The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine, brought to you by Gillette, the official razor of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. I am Nick Eatman. It is time to talk Cowboys and New York Giants as we turn the page to the second week of the season. Cowboys a 1-1, tough loss against the Eagles, a chance to win that game up there in Philly. I think everyone sees that, knows that. Yes, there's some excitement about this team, even though there's been one game, one loss. I think that the expectations are still high for this team, especially after that first game. And when you look at the other games around the league, and there's a few teams with some heartbreak. We saw it in the Monday night game with the Bears and the Vikings. We saw it Friday with the Chiefs and the Chargers. There's some teams that we thought were going to be, maybe have better starts to the season than they did. So you can't tell a lot about week one, but it's the start. And with anything, well, that's how we start to evaluate things. But I think this is a big one. I always talk about Cowboys and the second game of the season, and I think this one will be really big for the Cowboys to figure out how to get back on onto the winning track and to win a division game. You can't get 10 wins, 11 wins if you don't get the first one. So this is a big one. All right, let's get to the phone lines here. We know how this show works. We're going to start with Kyle. He's in Tacoma, Washington. Kyle, what's up, man?
How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
It's been a minute, man. I remember talking. It's been 7 or 8 years, but I'm in the United States Air Force up in Tacoma, Washington. I just wanted to ask you a quick question. I know I was told to be quick.
Mm-hmm.
Was it more exciting to see Schottenheimer's play calling or to see how Dak performed coming off of his injury?
I think that's a great question, and we appreciate. You have anything else, Kyle?
Oh yeah, real quick one. Do you think the Blue's going to be active this week?
Okay, I do actually. I think he will. Kyle, thanks for the call. Appreciate your service, and keep calling when you get a chance. Good to hear from you. I think Jaydon Blue will be active. I think they'll have to figure out some things with him. He's going to have to. Schottenheimer said it Monday that sometimes you have a setback in the week, and he said, I'm not saying he did, but he did mention that when he was asked about him. So maybe there was something that happened in practice. It's easy to say, well, he scores that touchdown that Miles Sanders didn't score, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't even find the right hole. Maybe he doesn't get the blitz pickup that Miles Sanders got a couple of plays earlier than that. It was a really nice play. So, running back's just an interesting situation for me because I look at it like, you'd like to see more speed out of Miles Sanders there, but when we haven't been seeing a lot of 49-yard runs around here. So let's not just bench the guy that got you a 49-yard run when the last one to do it was Tony Pollard like 5 years ago. So if he's ready, I think he'll play. Now, your first question was, what was more impressive, Schottenheimer's play calling or Dak's execution? And I think they go hand in hand. I don't think it's just either or. I think the play calling fits to what Dak's trying to do and the Dak's style of play. But I guess I would say Schottenheimer's play calling just because I liked how aggressive it was. There were some times where I thought, maybe managing the clock there in the end of the half could have been done differently. But all in all, I think both. It's a great question because they're both true, and I do think that, like I said, I think they go hand in hand. Brian in Kansas City's next. Brian, what's up?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you. Hey, I wanted to just tell you I'm keeping my eyes open. I haven't seen anything yet, but appreciated the message on that.
Okay.
So, just wanted to say, so for two things. One, what thing surprised you the most? And then for coming up this week, maybe it's the one we just talked about. What thing would you want to see done differently going into this week? So the thing that surprised me the most I watched an all 22 for the very first time in my life this week. Because watching the game live, I thought Tyler Guyton had a terrible pass protection game. And according to PFF, he didn't have a very good game. But when I watched the all 22, and I only watched him, nothing else, it wasn't as bad as I thought when I watched it live.
Yeah.
He was a little bit better than what I thought I saw when I watched it live. So that surprised me. And then going forward, I was just shocked that, for next week, I just hope to see Blue on the field. So I just wondered what you thought about, did anything surprise you that you didn't know about the team already? And Guyton was mine. And what would you want to see done different? And okay. I'll let you go. Thanks,
All
Nick.
right, thank you. Well, the surprising stuff for me was, seeing CeeDee Lamb drop the ball a few times. That was surprising, especially in clutch moments of the game. We hadn't seen that a lot. So that was a surprising part. Now, you're talking about things like, alignment, I guess, or stuff that we weren't expecting. But I thought, Trayvon Diggs, I thought, played a really, really good game. I thought the coverage overall was good because the pass rush wasn't there early. Now, it was there later on in the game, but early it really wasn't there. But I thought they still did a really nice job. So I think, we said it the other day in this show that I do believe that when Diggs is fully healthy and it looks like he's getting there, and then you've got Deron Bland and Kyer Elam, it's a pretty good trio of corners, and then some veteran safeties as well. So I think the secondary can be good. And if the pass rush continues to get better, and they dial up some more pressure, then I think you have a great combination there on defense. But surprising, I was surprised to see Trayvon play so well. I was surprised to see the drops by CD, and and I wasn't really surprised that we saw Turpin earlier. Maybe thought we might see him a little bit more later. All right, let's go to Albert in Tucson, Arizona.
Good morning, Nick. How are you, my brother?
Good. How are you doing?
It's another beautiful day out here.
All right.
I'm gonna make it try to make it as quick as I can. I guess it's a question or yes, I guess it's a question. When do you think the team itself, and I don't know if it comes from management or trickles down, we're going to see some starters during the preseason? That way, there's nothing like, I know it's preseason, but there's nothing like in-game experience, right? Like the game moves semi as fast as it would in a regular game. The players need to see the lights, the people, the other player, other opponents moving fast. There's only so much that the practice and practicing against your own can do. So, do you think there's a benefit?
No.
No,
I really don't. Okay, hold on. Let me change that. Is there a benefit to playing? Sure, there's a benefit. It doesn't even come close to the risk of losing a player, because
it's like a double-edged sword, right?
In my opinion, because how long is your rust? Now who are we talking about? The offense? The offense looked like they played a game 3 days ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the way the offense came out. Now the defense, sure, maybe looked a little rusty. I just don't think playing a preseason game 2 weeks before that game is going to change the rust factor. I maybe a little bit, but you would be sick if a guy got hurt and tore his ACL and he was out for the season just so he could knock off the rust a little bit earlier than maybe a series or two. Because that's usually all it takes is a few series, but an injury can be the entire season. That, to me, the risk reward, it just isn't there. Especially with how much money these guys are getting paid, and then the backup is getting paid, significantly less. The drop off is just so intense that I just can't see the justification there.
Okay,
that's just my opinion. Now and you're not wrong. You're not the only one that thinks this way. I've seen players get hurt in the preseason, and it's just like, for what? You know?
Oh yeah. I see the ticker. In some preseason games. That's why I was maybe even thinking like game management to say, hey, you're in for a series, you're in for a quarter.
Yeah.
Certain players, not everybody, but I think it would benefit. But
all right,
you're right.
I mean,
it makes sense.
It's just my opinion on it. I didn't hate seeing Tyler Booker when he was a starter. He's going to be out there. He played a little bit. I didn't hate to see that. Didn't seem like a big risk, for that. But overall, I'm not a big fan of it. All right, let's take a break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back after this.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
The search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. Now through September 29th, you can nominate extraordinary fans with a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/Fan of the Year. All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline presented by Gillette. Let's get right back to the phone lines here. We're talking Cowboys, Giants, maybe a little bit of Cowboys, Eagles, whatever you want to talk about. Lester in Lakeville, Minnesota. What's up?
Good morning, Nick.
How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I just wanted to make a comment. First of all, I want to say this. I know that there's no moral victories. But I just wanted to make a comment on the offensive line. I'm the offensive and defensive line guy. I thought the offensive line played really well. I liked a lot of the blocking schemes that I haven't really seen as much of in the last few years, like the trap blocking and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So what do you think of that, Nick?
Yeah, I thought I did like what I saw from the offensive line, especially around the goal line. It's been tough to just get in and run the ball in for a touchdown at the one. Now, Jalen Carter not being out there, that helped. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Let's not forget that part. And they're going to face a better defensive tackle this week than they did last week because you can say, some people might even say Dexter Lawrence is better than Jalen Carter. He's been better, in his career. It's a lot longer, but he's a great defensive tackle. So he's really good, and I doubt he's going to be kicked out of the game before it even starts. So another big challenge. But I did like the way that they ran the ball in the middle, and I still think that there's going to be more things to see. We saw it also on the running on the outside. I mean, that toss pitch to Sanders got 50 yards, down the field. So I thought the blocking was good inside and outside, and that's a good start. All right, let's go to Sebastian. He's in Savannah, Georgia.
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well, and as always, looks like you're doing well. I'm going to get right to the 25-second scouting report from the team. We're facing probably one of the best defensive lines in the league and one of the worst secondaries. Their secondary gets turned around and cooked worse than anyone else in the league. So we should have a lot of success on the outside. Unfortunately, I do have one player on our team who has been lacking for a long time. I would like to see more from Jalen Tolbert. I need for him to hit at least a Terrence Williams or a Michael Gallup level in his, third or fourth year at this point. He's been a disappointment, but we should be able to move the ball against him well. If we open up like we did this past week, we should win this game, no problem. But this game is a necessity. Do not let those guys come in here and surprise you. You have to win. You have a great day. I'll hang up and listen.
All right, appreciate it. Yeah, it's a must-win. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is a must-win. Must-win if you want to be a team that can compete for the playoffs. Because the Giants, I don't think they're that team. And I think if you come in and lose this game, then I think that's what we kind of know what this team will be. They'll be maybe competitive against some, but you can't be a team that plays to the level of the competition. You just can't. It's nice to rise up to it, but it's terrible when you play down to it. And that's what I think this is. Remember, we're only 1 week into this. We think this. We think the Eagles are great like they were last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So going to Philly and almost winning that game with a chance to win is a step in the right direction. That's what we think. Now, we think the Giants aren't that good, and they didn't play very well against Washington, who we think is good. So, again, all of this stuff is just kind of what we think. All we have to go off of is from last year. But there's no doubt about it. You can't be 0-2 in the division to start the year. This is a big win for the Cowboys to get. They've got to go get this game. And you're right, the defensive line is stout. And they're going to get better and better. They got young pass rushers. They got some good defensive linemen in Lawrence, but I still think, like you said, they can get the ball out on the perimeter. So getting it blocked up front is key. You mentioned Jalen Tolbert. I think he's the fourth receiving option. So if that's a disappointment, sure. But I mean, because you thought after this is his fourth year that he would be a better option there. But Turpin does a little bit more than obviously Pickens and CD as well. All right, let's go to Chris, Saratoga Springs, New York.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. What position always kills the Giants offensively for us? In the past.
Quarterback?
That, and I think tight end. Jason Witten brings back memories of always crushing the Giants.
Yeah.
We need to get more production out of our tight ends in the middle of the field, and I think Hunter Lemke could be involved in that too in the passing game. Mm-hmm. We just gave him a nice little contract. I think we should use him a little bit more as well, but I really think we need to get our tight ends involved, and they need to make an impact in this game coming up against the Giants.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that too, where whether it be Ferguson or Schoonmaker or whoever right down the seam, and that's there. I mean, it was there. He threw it to Spanford down the seam. He threw it to Schoonmaker there. Obviously, to Ferguson, who almost got killed on the play. But we did see that. So something to look at those tight ends. Let's see if I can get Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma before break. Lewis.
Well, what's going on this morning? I ain't gonna hold you too long.
All right, appreciate it.
I just was going to ask you, if you had to upgrade one position now after watching one game, what would you go with it? Because me personally, I don't mind the addition of Kenny Clark, and I was wondering if we wanted to add another big body. And I know Mozzie's on the bench or whatever he is, but add another piece like that and maybe another DN if there's somebody out there, then I'll be perfectly happy. But like I said, I'll talk more later. I'll listen to you.
I appreciate it. That's a good question. I mean, if you could just upgrade, you wouldn't mind upgrading a lot of positions, but as for like player to player, I don't know. I think I'd like to see more production there. I think defensive end is probably the answer, because you lost Micah Parsons. So they're really not. Let's not overthink this. It's defensive end because Fowler and Sam Williams and Ezraku, they're not Micah Parsons. So that's the answer. That's the one that you would like to upgrade. Maybe you can figure out different ways to do it. But I think it's a good question. There's everybody on the team you'd like to get a little bit more production from. But if you could just add a player in, it would probably have to be a pass rusher for me. So, because you just lost one. You lost one of the best ones in the game. Let's take our second break here on Cowboys Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Get behind-the-scenes look at AT&T Stadium, meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and alumni, play games, win prizes, and more. Get your tickets at attstadium.com/rallydays, and they will have another one here September 13th on Saturday before Sunday's game against the Giants. All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline, had to get through the first two segments there, doing that for TV purposes. Appreciate you guys for being quick. I know sometimes you had more things to say, and Chris back there maybe had to cut you off. That's part of it. That's what Tuesday on the Storyline is. We appreciate you understanding. That doesn't mean the next guys that call in can go crazy. We'll keep this thing moving at a nice pace. Let's start this segment with Sergeant Sue. He's in Fort Worth.
At ease, everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good, brother. Good. I'll keep it quick. We're rolling pretty quick. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward this week. I'm hoping that we see more of a Leofow on defense.
Yeah.
And I thought that the limited opportunities that he did get, he shined. And I understand that you got to have the guys who you brought in. You got to give them a look and everything like that. But I'm hoping that Leofow did enough last week and continues to do enough this week. As Shadi always mentions, consistency to get more playing time. And I just want to answer. I think it was Kyle who asked. It may have been the first caller about whether we were more excited about Dak or the play calling of Shadi. And I want to answer that just really quickly.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about the play calling of Shadi. Dak, we've seen him come back from injury, and the thing that keeps me excited about the play calling with Shadi is I don't think he's done yet, brother. I think he's got a lot more in that bag. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. Thanks so much for taking my call, and see you guys later.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. He's got more to it as well. I mean, I thought it was a good question just because I do like what I saw from Dak, and the ball placement was good. And the being the football player and getting out of sacks and showing that upper body strength and then delivering, the ball on time. And when it's time to throw it away, or throw it an incomplete pass. I thought he did a nice job. Now, again, though, let's call it what it is. I mean, they didn't score a point in the second half, so part of it was a fumble down there inside the 10. They probably would have scored at least a field goal there, but that's part of the offense. They didn't score. There were some drops. It's not all on Dak. It's very rare that you have a game where it's a close game and your offense does not score in the second half, and you're really not blaming the quarterback. And so that's rare, especially around here, because quarterback takes a lot of blame. But that's what it was. I think that was exciting. But this is the opportunity to build off that when you got the Giants coming up this week, and like we said several times, you got to get them blocked. Get it blocked up front, and it should be a good day for that offense. All right, Carolina is next. Carolina's driving through Kansas. Carolina.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. How you doing?
I'm driving through Kansas. I don't know what's going on with my headset, but I got you today.
There you go. Don't
yes,
scare
sir.
anybody over there.
I'm in the country. Don't nobody care.
Yeah. You got a different route. Usually it's like through Texas and Louisiana and all that. They got you going a little bit north.
No, man, I actually quit. I quit for that job. Now I'm my own owner-operator.
Oh, okay.
So I'm driving across the whole world, man. I'm everywhere.
All right. Well, good. Well,
yeah, that's why my schedule has been all off and I've been missing calling in. But I got time today.
All right. Well, let's make it quick if we can. What you got for me?
All right. Sadly, I missed the call in about the game, man. Wonderful game, like you said earlier. You got to correct some of the small things. I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm just curious. When do you try the Bricky? When do you give him a shot?
Who, Blue?
Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he got more speed than Sanders. If you ask me.
He
and
does.
I'm just more concerned also with how they're going to figure out to make these, these possessions where they can equalize Pickens and CD at the same time. Like, I just thought he should have got more targets in that game, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, and I bet you he thinks the same thing, and and a lot of people do. But you have anything else, Carolina? We'll move it on.
No, can't wait to beat the brakes off the Giants. They can't seem to score offensive touchdown, so that shouldn't be too hard. Go Cowboys.
All right. Thanks for the call. I that's always the tough part when you've got two good receivers or any multiple weapon offense. Where what about this guy? What about this guy? I mean, I think CD's the guy that gets the money, and he's the one that has been the playmaker. And if he catches those balls and they go down there and win that game, I mean, I don't think anyone's really talking about that. Now, I'm sure there were some times where Pickens was open, and they'll still work through that. CD and Dak have played several games together, and that was the first one, obviously, with Pickens. So I think it'll be fine. I think he'll get going. He'll get involved. If CD. He kept making plays, he kept getting open, and then and the ball was there for him to do that. I think Pickens will be a factor there, maybe even as early as this week. And the thing about Blue, this could be a good game for that, maybe to get him out there. Just remember, there's other things about running the football. There's more to the position than that. There was a play where Miles Sanders made where. I know they were going right to left. I believe that was third quarter. Could have been second quarter. But where Sanders was kind of had his eyes focused in the middle of the line as blitz pick up. He was cheating towards the middle. And then all of a sudden, he caught the defensive end rushing off the edge. I think it was a blitzing linebacker. And he darted up there and made the play. And it was a really nice blitz pickup. That's the recognition that veterans see. If Blue can do that and pick that up and be a willing blocker, you don't have to be tenacious. You just get in there. Pollard wasn't, didn't knock people to the ground, but he made sure that he stuck his nose in there. If Blue can do that, then I think running the ball and hanging on to it and pass catching and all that should be fine. I would imagine he's probably ready to play this week, so we'll see how they do the roster there. Rick in Massachusetts is next. Rick, what's up?
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
All right. Just a quick score of the 30-10 Cowboys.
Okay.
And a couple of things. Anything word on was it Winfrey?
Yeah, he's on IR. Yeah, they moved him to injured reserve yesterday. So
I only saw a quick thing on it, and I was from one of the podcasters, but I wasn't sure. So
yeah, he's on injured reserve. So he'll be out at least 4 games. Probably can come back after the Jets game.
Yeah, I'm with everybody else. People I would like to see more of besides Blue is Leofau and Houston.
Okay.
To get some time. Yeah. So I think Houston did well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always done a nice job. I mean, like he's kind of the surprise guy that they added. But he did a good job. He played at the UFL last year, and he got in there towards the end of the game, made a tackle for loss. That was a pretty big play in the game. So if they would have come back and won that, I mean, that was going to be one of my key plays there, just because it stops the momentum. And anytime you get a 5-yard loss on first down, that was big. But I'm with you on Leofau. I thought the linebackers looked a little like a step slow, but the Eagles will do that to you. That's kind of what going up against Hurts and and Barkley, and there's so much of that RPO stuff that there's just so much hesitation there that they'll do that to you. But Leofau, I think, has a little bit more of that speed. They certainly miss Overshown speed there, but Sanborn and Clark and Murray just they got to the football, but maybe not as quickly as you wanted them to. So we'll see what happens here in this next game. It changes a lot, with going up against Hurts, Barkley, and then going up against Russell Wilson, and I couldn't even tell you right now who the Giants have. Is it Tracy maybe at running back? But it's not Saquon Barkley anymore, and it could have been. All right, let's go to Zach in Atlanta.
Hey, what's up, Nick in Frisco?
How are you doing?
I'm great, man. Hey, I was the first call on that Friday hangover. What I'll say, last thought on the Eagles game from me, going into the game, you were like, hey, if we can keep it single-digit spread, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get in the game situation, and my takeaway is man, you got to win that game. You got to find a way to win. The chances were there. So
right.
That's where the disappointment is. But I'm not discouraged. I thought the line played pretty well. Even with Jalen Carter out, they still have a pretty good D-line. Tyler Guyton looked good. So I think this coming week, yeah, we've talked about it already. The Giants have everybody on D-line who can wreck a game. So this will be a fun test. I do think the Cowboys win 27-13, we'll call it that. And then, during the season, my thing is going to be, hey, who played for both teams? And I want to see any stories you have like I did last year. So Dwayne Harris, any stories on Dwayne Harris? And with that, I'll let you go, man.
Yeah, it's not a good one. Thanks, Zach. It's not a good story. I remember, was it 2015, I believe, was the season where he played with the Giants his first year. He played with the Cowboys, moved over to the Giants, and I want to say it was 2015. And going down to the field, the Cowboys had just scored a touchdown, just going down, and with about, 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game to tie the game. And so we're walking onto the field, and right when you walk on the field, there's a restroom right there. And I'm like, I'm going to go to the restroom really quick. Go to the restroom. You can hear a crowd. You just kind of know what it is. It's like, yeah. That's what I was expecting. Kickoff return, tackle at the 20. And it never went down. And it just kept getting louder and louder and louder. And I was like, oh, my God. That sounds like a kickoff return for a touchdown. So, quickly got out, washed the hands, got out there. And sure enough, they're celebrating him in the end zone right there. And so that's all. When I think of Dwayne Harris, I just think of listening. Didn't see it, just listening to that touchdown return. It was like, this is going on too long. This is about 10 seconds. This is a 100-yard kickoff return, isn't it? And it sure as hell was. And I think the Giants, that was the score. They won the game. Something like 27-20. I'm not sure there, but I know he had the game-winning one. So I can't remember he had some other great plays for the Cowboys, but the one I think of is that one. All right, KC Joe is in KC. What's up?
Good morning, Nick. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I see a win this weekend, 31-24.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Houston in this weekend on the defensive end. You think they'll put him in?
Yeah, James Houston. That's a couple callers ago. Rick said the same thing. All he does is just get after the quarterback and make plays. He did it in the preseason. He did it in that game, and so he's not super flashy. I think you might expect more, but he's productive. And so, yeah, that's certainly what you need. You need productive guys like that. So I could definitely see him. Now, he's active. He's going to be active because of special teams, and it gives you some depth. But he might be a guy that rotates in a little bit more.
That'd be good. That'd really be good. I like to see him. Like I said, I think our ends are good. It's a learning. It's the first game. The second half, things looked better. So I seen improvement on both sides of the ball, so I was excited about the running game this last game. I really was. I was surprised, but
yeah,
I think we got a good running core because we've got Blue, we got Williams, we got Maffa when he comes back. I think we're solid in the running game. So.
Yeah. I kind of think you're right. I don't know how much they need Miles Sanders. I think Javonte and Blue when he gets back in there, and then Lipke I think can serve as that guy that you got to use his value. He played 8 snaps. I think he can play more than that, and I think he can be a backup running back, short yardage guy if you needed him.
Okay, well, I will let you get some more callers in there. You have a good day, sir.
All right, thanks. KC Joe in Kansas City. Chiefs are 0-1 over there in Kansas City. I'm sure that they're getting a little restless. They had a tough loss on Friday night. I'm not loving the Friday night football for the NFL. I mean, Thursday's cool, I guess. Friday, though, I don't know. Maybe just because I'm here in Texas, I think that should be high school all the way. But, I don't even love the college games on Friday night, but they do it. Everyone creeps into there on Fridays. All right, Troy in Amarillo. I've been to some high school football in Amarillo. What's up, man?
Hey, Nick, what's going on, man? Thanks for taking my call, man.
No problem. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, I was just going to tell you, I really was excited to watch the line play, in the first game. I thought that they really, really played well. And I was really pretty impressed, actually, man, with Steele. I thought Steele was blocking really well.
Yeah.
Kind of tandem and stuff. But I tell you, I watch. The only thing is, I'm not saying that they won't be that way, but maybe it'll take them a while. But, man, if you really want to play football, man, a display of football defensively was Sunday night, man, with those two teams right there. I was watching and I was like, man, they're like machines. That the culture in and for Raven football, and Buffalo too, but more of the Ravens, has been like generational. I mean, that team, Nick, snap 5, they'll be 8, 9 guys, man, 9 hats on the ball. Snap 75, there's going to be 8, 9 guys on the ball. And Roquan Smith, I was watching him a little bit, I wish we had that thumper like that guy, but he just kind of man, the safeties will come up for support like Hamilton and those guys, and they'll make the tackle, and then he'll just kind of throw a little elbow there at the end going, hey, I'm still here, I'm going to be doing this for quite some time, But it was pretty remarkable to watch those two guys.
Troy, just a second. I want to make sure I clarify. Did you say that was great defensive football when a game that was 83 points combined scored? Was that what you were talking?
No.
You didn't say defense, did you?
The pursuit is what I'm talking about, man. When you got guys like that, look, either one of those teams, man. I mean, granted, man, they're probably going to be representing the AFC. One of those teams are going to be representing the AFC. Probably
They'll play again. You're right, and those games take on a life of its own. I mean, I think they are good defensive teams. I was just making sure I heard that correctly. That was a crazy game. There's no doubt about it. And you're right. And here's another thing. And I don't know how long the Bills head coach has been there. I can see his face. I can't even think of his name right now.
McDermott. Yeah,
McDermott.
He's good. Yeah, he's good.
He's good. I mean, this is about 6th year, 7th year for him? And
something like that.
And Harbaugh's been there about as long as anybody, I think, in the league. So what my point is continuity is really important. And every time a team has, they suck, our coach sucks, get rid of them. I mean, you keep turning over that kind of stuff, you're not going to have that kind of what makes Baltimore so good. And Pittsburgh, I'll give them credit too. Pittsburgh's kind of the same way because they have that continuity. Now, they're not as good as maybe Baltimore, but you know what you're going to get. So all I'm saying is that you got to let these coaches and this staff kind of fight through it a little bit to build up some continuity that their scouting department can say, we know what we want here, we know what works, and let's stick to it as opposed to just changing it out every year.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I was just thinking it was. I mean, and granted, there was a lot of points scored and everything, but let's be honest with each other, though. These offenses put a lot of pressure on you. They really do.
Yeah, great quarterback play from both sides of the ball because they both can throw it and run it, and that's what the Cowboys face with Hurts. So, all right,
exactly.
All right,
thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. Let's go to Dylan in Northport, Florida. Dylan,
hey Nick,
what's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm great.
All right. I haven't been listening today, so I don't know what's been said or how this show's gone.
We want to see more from Jaydon Blue, James Houston, Maris Leofau. That's kind of what I'm getting a sense that's the kind of the theme of the callers.
That all sounds good. I'm down with that. Jaydon Blue, sure, mix them in. I don't really know what to expect. Leofau would have been great last week. You know, they had a plan with Murray and those guys. I was going to say, isn't it funny how before the season starts, you know, we're all super excited about this linebacker room and, like, it's pretty promising. And then 1 week goes by, and all of a sudden now the defensive line is a strength and the corners are a strength. But now the linebacker's like, oh, God, what do we have there? It's funny how stuff flip-flops from week to week. Obviously, Diggs coming back helps a lot, too, with that secondary. But
exactly.
You know, I want to see Leofau, and I heard, I guess, just going back to this call yesterday from, I forget his name, Allen, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call. I would challenge anybody who... I don't know how to say this nicely. Anybody who says anything like this should be the case or this should happen, I would challenge you, if you haven't already purchased the All-22, get the All-22 and just go look at, you know, the plays that are in question that you're saying this person should be open or Dak should do this with the ball at this point in time or whatever it might be. You're not necessarily wrong with what you said, Alan, yesterday as far as going to Turpin because he was open on the slant underneath. But his quarterbacks, you know, they have a certain progression they have to go through. And if your progression starts from your pre-snap read to CD Lamb on a vertical route, well, that's the play, right? And so if you see that he's one-on-one, he's open, I mean, you're going to take that. He's your best player. You're going to take it all day. And the ball was there. Receiver could have made a catch. Didn't happen. So I'm not going to fault Dak for that and going through his progressions the appropriate way and all that. But I would just say, you know, be careful with the theories. Be careful with the should be or should not be. And, you know, if you can, go spend some time and take a look at the All-22, and you'll see that you're not wrong, but it just helps you just maybe solidify your point and how it's going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you got anything else, Dylan?
No, man, that's it. Just a chill call today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, appreciate that. One of the captains on the All-Storyline team, Dylan, calling in. Good to see him in Oxnard a few weeks ago down at training camp. He brought 7 people there to watch a few practices. It was good to see them and then do a couple shows, or at least one show with them. I think that's a good point though, for sure about CD and the All-22 and just kind of seeing, well, someone else is open. Like, all right, well, who? You know, like look at it. Don't just assume all the time. And so that's what that's there for. It's a really good tool, and you get a chance to kind of see what the coaches are seeing and what they evaluate. All right, let's go to our last caller. Will be Brandon in Fresno, California. Brandon, what's up, man?
What's up, Nick? I'll be fast real quick. I've been trying to call in like last week or whatever, but I just wanted to tell you, like, when it comes to penalties, like holding penalties, is it kind of like the NBA, like, you know, when LeBron drive to the hoop and get the and one? I feel like when it comes to Micah, he'll get that holding penalty. Ezra Rocco got held like 3 or 4 times. Dante Fowler got held 3 or 4 times. Do they only call it for the big name players?
No,
do the rest kind of like do that?
Brandon, what did you watch any games last year? Like Micah didn't get the calls. I mean, he didn't, and then he kept complaining about it on his podcast, complaining about it. The refs are human. I'm sure that didn't help his cause at all. But no, I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that the star players get the call because Micah didn't get the calls last year. He didn't get a holding penalty in like 12 weeks in a row. And he was leading the league in pressures. That's what I thought was crazy.
I felt like, during this podcast, the refs probably seen that, and they you know, held it toward against him. Because, like, I feel like Myles Garrett gets that call. You know, the big names get the call. I feel like the big names get the call. And I just seen Ezra Rocco get held like 2 or 3 times around, and I was like, man, he would have got home on that one. But him being a rookie, they're like, yeah, we're not going to give you that call.
Yeah. Well,
other than that, have a good day, Nick, and look forward to this weekend. And, yeah, we'll beat those Giants.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for the call, Brendan. I said this yesterday on the podcast. I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world, Ezra Rocco. He's going to have to – I mean, those big offensive linemen, those tackles, they're bigger than he is. Their hands are strong. They're going to get, you know, his jersey, his pads. He's got to get off of that. And so that's going to be part of this thing. It's not just, you know, getting the calls. He can't just get somebody to get their hands locked in on him. So, but I think he will. It's one game. He'll get better and he'll figure it out. All right, let's take our last break real quick on Cowboys Storyline and be right back to wrap it up.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades in Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline presented by Gillette. We got time just for a few more minutes here on the show as we get ready to see the Cowboys in Week 2 against the New York Giants. I think everyone is certainly wanting to watch that again after that Thursday night game. There's so many positive things that come out of it other than the loss. I mean, this isn't about the moral victory. This is about trying to get better, taking a step in the right direction. It only counts if you take care of business for this next game and then the ones after that. And I think when you look at the NFL and the scope of it, you're looking at the schedule. I mean, it's here. It's here for the taking. You can argue that the game at Philly might be the toughest game right now on paper that they're going to have. I'm sure it won't play out that way, but that's the way it kind of looks. And earlier in the week, Jerry Jones said on his radio hit 105.3 The Fan on Tuesday morning, he talked about player grades and how Dak Prescott was the highest rated player they had on offense, and Kenny Clark was the highest rated player they had on defense. So when you think about it, Dak is getting paid the money and he's the quarterback. That's what you want. And then a guy that you traded Micah Parsons away, and the afterthought guy has been Kenny Clark, but not to the Cowboys. Kenny Clark's the guy that they certainly had zeroed in to be a big part of this trade, and he certainly was. And I think even that first game, you saw the impact that he could make, and I think he will continue to make. All right. The Cowboys, we've got a few more days to talk about Cowboys and Giants. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get leading up to this. We know the quarterback's going to be for the Giants. Russell Wilson is the guy. He's their starter. And a lot of history with Brian Schottenheimer, so there'll be a fun storyline throughout the week with their time together in Seattle. And Schottenheimer coached him as the offensive coordinator for Russell. He was the guy when they said, let Russ cook. He was the guy, he was the chef in the back, letting him do that. Schottenheimer was with Russell Wilson. So they don't want him to cook this week, though, against the Giants for sure. That's going to be the big thing, is trying to figure out how to get pressure. His stats the other day, 17 of 37, so a lot of incompletions. Pressure matters. Getting home, getting sacks is a big deal. The Cowboys got one, but obviously you want to see them get a lot of pressure. All right. We'll be back next week for Cowboys Storyline and on the daily podcast every day at 10 a.m. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. See you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!